Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We're going to try ourselves out a Britain run and see how that goes. I know we're going to be looking to do a little bit more aggressive expansion in this one, particularly colonization of Africa, and we're going to try to get a bunch of territory in Southeast Asia. So that's the basic plan. We're also going to consolidate our dominions, because we got a lot of dominions. It's too many dominions. They gotta go. By which I mean they gotta get consolidated. So, first things first, let's take a look at our technology situation. We're in a really good spot. We've got all of the tier 1s in production researched. We've got intensive agriculture researched. We got railway researched. And yeah, we're doing really well on the production front. Militarily, we're also doing just fine. We've got Napoleonic warfare and general staff already. So that puts us at skirmish infantry and mobile artillery, which is exactly where we want to be. We've also got the technology for producing munitions plants, so that's just fine. Over here in naval, we've got everything in tier 2 except for hydraulic cranes, so we'll get that eventually. Over here in society, we got urbanization started. We've got all the tier 1s. We've got all the tier 1s over here under rationalism. And quite a few of the tier 2s. We've got egalitarianism researched. We've got dialectics researched. And we've got central archives and central banking research. So, that is a great spot to be in as we get started here. But the first thing we're going to need to do, technology-wise, is to get quinine. Quinine is going to remove the effects of malaria in colonies and states, and that's going to be critical in terms of our ability to get colonizing fast. Just a brief introduction to the British geographic situation. Great Britain has a ton of colonies and whatnot in this time period. So I'll just show you the British market here. So this consists of Britain, Ireland, a bunch of territories in what is now Germany, and all of what is now Canada, chunk of the northeastern future United States, this little bit of South America here, the Cape Colony, and all of India, and all of Australia, and much of New Zealand, which is still being colonized. So we've got a lot of territory, and all these states are our puppets of one kind or another. We got a bunch of puppets, we got a bunch of dominions, we got one personal union. So yeah, so there's going to be a lot to do. We're rivals with the French, and yeah, there's a whole lot to do. The British East India Company is this large state here, and it actually holds it actually holds all of these small countries as its puppets. But we're going to get those if they're not able to consolidate power, which their chances of being able to do so are not great. In preparation for getting the consolidation going, I'm going to start improving relations with some states in Canada and some states in Australia. Don't have quite enough yet, but we'll get that eventually. So the next place we're going to go is nationalism after that. We also are not nearly near our innovation cap. Our innovation cap is 133, so we're going to need to build up to that. But in order to do that, we're going to need to increase our construction industry. Before we do that, though, let me just take you through where we are. We are a massively industrialized country at this period in the game. We've got 12 levels of food industries, 77 levels of textile mills, 35 levels of furniture manufactories, 7 levels of glassworks, 24 levels of tooling workshops, 15 levels of paper mills, 1 each fertilizer plants and explosives factories, 8 levels of steel mills, 3 levels of motor industries, 12 shipyards, 6 military shipyards, 3 arms industries, 2 artillery foundries, 2 munitions plants, and 3 levels of arts academies. Over here under rural, we've got 68 rye farms, a couple of wheat farms, 27 livestock ranches, 59 coal mines, 12 iron mines, 3 levels of lead mines, and then for plantations, we got 9 coffee, 5 tea, 4 tobacco, 10 sugar, 2 bananas. We got 21 fishing wharves, 10 logging camps, and 2 whaling stations, plus a bunch of subsistence farms. It's interesting. I think I'm going to fully industrialize these lead mines. Yeah, I know it'll technically not be profitable, but it's fine. Under development, we got 144 barracks, so our regular army is a little small for a massive great power, but that's not going to be the case for long. We've also got a ton of ports, a bunch of which are being used as anchorages. Let's go ahead and shift them over to being cargo ports. That's going to cost a bunch of clippers, 123 to be precise. So where are clippers for the market? Oh, they're doing just fine. They'll be fine. They'll be absolutely fine. That'll be just great. Government admin, we got 36 levels. Universities, we got 11 levels. And right away, I'm going to upgrade the universities to philosophy department. I'm going to grab these and put them over to secular academia and secular admin to make sure those are increasing the power of our intelligentsia, who are going to be the basis of our growing economy. Alright, let's go ahead and get our construction industry up and running. Where have we got a lot of labor? We got a lot in the West Country, and we got a lot in the Midlands. We've got quite a bit of unemployment in the home counties. So what does this look like? That's 9, yeah, we'll go up to 20. But we need to be strategic about this. So why don't we... Because I'm going to throw 6 more construction sectors into construction. That's going to increase our iron requirements by 300. And that is going to put us in a shortage of iron. So before we go too far, let's get some iron mines built. We got a bunch of unemployment in East Anglia, so let's build it there. These are going to produce 40 iron a pot. We'll produce 8 levels of iron mines in that zone. And that should be enough to get us going. This is going to cost us a barrel full, but happily we can throw some consumption taxes in there and get everything we need. Currently we've got consumption taxes on liquor, luxury clothes, tea, and luxury furniture. So we'll throw on one on services, and we'll throw one on opium. And that'll help our cash situation significantly. Just a few things, a few journal entries I want to draw your attention to before we get started here. This is the Hanoverian succession. The personal union between Great Britain and Hanover, that's this country here, and its whole customs union, rests upon unstable ground. Different laws of succession guarantee that the union will end upon the death of King William, with the British throne passing to Princess Victoria. So this will complete if King William of Hanover has died. There's no way to avoid this happening. We are going to lose this personal union. It's fine. The other one is the South Atlantic slave trade. This will time out in 50 years. Despite the signing of the British-Brazilian Treaty of 1826, whereby Brazil pledged itself to the abolition of the African slave trade, little effort has been expended by Brazilian authorities to actually enforce it. Instead, Brazilian slavers continue to ferry tens of thousands of African souls across the Atlantic in chains every year, making a mockery of Whitehall's good name and reputation. This cannot stand. One way or another, Brazil shall yield. So this will complete if Brazil has not enacted slave trade. Their current law is slave trade. So that's not shocking. If completed, this will trigger an event called the Last Voyage of the Andorina, and it will cause us to lose a debuff that we have called Unfulfilled Treaty Obligations that reduces our influence by 10% and our prestige by 100. And if we fail it, doesn't say what'll happen, but that can only happen if we have not banned slavery, and we have banned slavery, so it shouldn't be a problem. Let's take a look. Our current governor is William of Hanover. His heir apparent is Princess Victoria. Our government is not actually that legitimate, so let's see what we can do to increase it. We can flip over to... We can pull the industrialists... we can have the industrialists and the Anglican Church in the government by bringing the Tory and the Peelite Party in. Or we could do just the Tories. I don't want to do just the Tories because they're going to be potentially a problem for me. If I pull just the Peelite Party in, that would be pretty wild. I think that's going to be my plan, because having the industrial... Well, we're doing okay. Oh, no, this is generating taking radicals. Yeah, I think we gotta... Hold on. Yeah, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the Tories and the Peelite Party in power. Alright, let's take a look at some laws. We've currently got wealth voting. That's, it's not great, but it is what it is. Appointed bureaucrats, that's solid. Professional army, that's solid. No home affairs, that's got to go. If we hit secret police, that would let us... That would give us pretty solid control over the everything. We got religious schools and charity hospitals. Dedicated police force, that's good. Colonial resettlement, that's what we need. Tenant farmers, that's what it is. Per capita taxation, protectionism, interventionism, poor laws, propertied women, right of assembly. We don't have workers' rights. Child labor is allowed. No migration controls. Slavery is banned. And, of course, we're a wealth-voting monarchy with national supremacy. So I think the first thing we're going to change is we're going to take a run at secret police, and we'll see how that works things out. Otherwise, I think we are good to get started here. Private sector is obviously building a bunch of stuff. We should have our new ports outputting convoys, and that should put the rest of our market having market access. The Philosophy Department. We've secured funding for philosophy departments in all of our institutions of higher learning. The University of East Anglia have chosen to focus this funding on advancing Hegelian dialectics. Now that we've more or less seated, we can begin. Everything you do at this institution begins and ends with the portmanteau philo, meaning the love of, and sophia, meaning wisdom. The love of learning and thought is what philosophy is. Underpinning philosophy is the outlook by which we perceive life, the world, everything, in essence. We can't necessarily teach you how to do a specific task here. What we can do is teach you how to learn and how to think about learning on your own. Antithesis, sorry. We're gonna go back. We're gonna try that one again. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis. This gives us 5% university throughput. That is definitely something we want. We're absolutely going to do a university expansion as we get going here because I got to get innovation up. I'm going to throw universities in all of my core. And, in fact, English mass migration from Ontario. From our country to Ontario. Interesting. Opium Wars. The Qing government has announced its intent to put an end to the opium trade in Great Qing. As Great Britain is a major exporter of opium, this is a matter of great economic concern. There are some who decry the so-called moral evils of the opium trade. I say to them, that's just an exile. I say to them, who are you to stand in the way of free trade and the free choices of the consumer? The demand exists, and so we provide. If not us, then some other nation will grow rich off the backs of Han opium fiends. Should every man be deprived of opium simply because some irresponsible... Will you dial it back, Victoria 3? I'm trying to read an event here. I was hemming and hawing about opium fiends. We're doing our racism here. Should every man be deprived of opium simply because some irresponsible ninny hammers abuse it? And should every British family be deprived of the wealth that opium brings to our country? Alright, so our options here are they will eat their opium and like it. This degrades relations and adds the Opium Wars journal. Or we have other matters to attend to. This improves relations and does not add the Opium Wars journal. I'm going to do the Opium Wars. We're going to go ahead and do that. They'll eat their opium and they'll like it. So, the Opium Wars journal entry will time out in 4 years. We must protect our economic interests by ensuring that the opium trade continues. By the way, I didn't realize we were careening directly towards an election. But this is still basically well, I could get up to legitimate government if I threw out the P-lights, but I like those guys. Anyway. Right, I was reading the Opium Wars. So this will time out in 4 years. We must protect our economic interests by ensuring that the opium trade continues. So this will complete if any British state is a treaty port. Any British state is a treaty port. Any state is owned by Great Chain. I think this is worded funny. Oh, okay, no. If we have any British state that is both a treaty port and the state is owned by Great Chain. So we need to get a treaty port in China. That's the end of... I would love to have a trade agreement with you, United States. That's the end of the situation. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. Fujian seems like the right state. Let's go ahead and take a treaty port. Come on. So we'll mobilize all the armies. And yeah, we'll get going with that. I expect us to be able to win without a problem. Moving right along here. Oh, City of Plenty. The most prominent members of the home county's high society have been seen organizing luxurious parties in the new and lavish urban buildings. Marble walls, shimmering stone, the noise of people coming and going brings the dead back to life when we didn't even know it was dead. Tall buildings cover the sunset, kids play with bricks, smoke blends with the clouds. A distant bell announces the next train. Progress is coming. I can go with Let Them Celebrate, which gives us 10% more loyalists to the upper and middle stardom pops in the home counties. Or I can say The Party Will Never End, which gives us 25% instead. I'm going to go with the second one. No one should be shocked by this. It's the early game. Standard of living is only going to get better. Right. Moving right along here. Go back to speed 3. Is anyone interested in helping only Portugal? Oh, I should, before I get absolutely wild with this, I've got interests I can declare. I've got actually so many interests I can declare. I'm just going to declare an interest in every zone in the world right now. I'm Great Britain, so I have the capacity to do stuff like that. Oh, I didn't realize that Dnieper was its own. I think they might have... Either they've done something with these, or I just have not looked in depth at this situation before. Himalayas will go in. All the coastal ones, at least. Britain should take the islands. Santa Ana was captured. That means that Texas is has already won the war with Mexico. And our armies are fully mobilized. So, the Portsmouth Station fleet has too many man-o-wars. I feel like that weird that we start with that. Let me quickly get... Oh, Britain has a lot of naval bases. I guess no one should be shocked by that. I'm going to get those up to the top of the construction queue. Pretty close to the top of it anyway. Joseon sides of Great Qing, that's Korea, that shouldn't shock any of us. Really expected our finances to be overall better than this. I feel like as Britain, your finances often start just phenomenal. Barracks are buying groceries. Well, that is what it is. Was my construction sector really this weak at game start? I feel like I should have more construction capacity. Although I guess part of this whole situation with my finances is that it's just like there's so much. Yep. That's not shocking. I didn't realize we were so close to an election. I feel really silly about that, frankly. I could put... No, that wouldn't be ideal. We're going to leave it as is. We're going to leave it as is. There's all our interests activated, and we've got an event. A common cost. Seeking to discredit Robert Peel during a speech on secret police, a heckler inspired by John Frost inquired about bread prices. Robert Peel asked a nearby grocer, "Regarding the law that you say is for the betterment of the common man, what is the price of... Are you even listening?" The grocer here says it's 2 pence for a loaf of bread. As for your question, it's a rather insipid one, no? A vulgar gambit to shock and discredit me rather than offer anything of substance to the discourse. Next. So, shock tactics are unbecoming of this nation. This makes John Frost weaker and makes Robert Peel stronger, and gives us 10% increased enactment chance. And we should peruse the law for faults. This gives us 5% enactment chance, and 1% of pops become more loyal. Interesting. But I'm going to go with this first one, because I want more success chance. No one should be shocked by this. John Frost is trying to enact a presidential republic, which, good luck with that. This is a movement called Chartism. We'll find out plenty about it. Anyway, so the Portsmouth Station Fleet. Why do so many of these fleets start with too many freaking boats of the wrong kind? Anyway, we're gonna get a naval invasion planning. Can we start a naval invasion planning? No, we cannot. All right. Well, that'll be on the docket for later. We got these naval bases going under construction, so hopefully that will get those sorted out. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop the game speed up a bit. Japan is a neutrality. I should open Japan's market. That would be fun. How wild would it be if I just puppeted Japan straight out the gate? That would be wild. It would be extreme. A lot of people would be in a situation. 2 arms. So this is going to lock down a bunch of our trade routes. And Victoria is the new queen. The Hanoverian succession has been completed. The coronation of Queen Victoria. The king is dead. With the ascension of his young niece Victoria, the realm rejoices, and the crown of Hanover passes outside of British control. Long may she reign. Since it has pleased Providence to place me in this station, I shall do my utmost to fulfill my duty towards my country. God save the Queen. That gives Queen Victoria 50 extra popularity and breaks the personal union. So, that's not what I wanted to do. First things first, we'll get this naval invasion planning. We're going to grab a bunch of these armies have no leaders? Is that what's going on? Yes. Didn't realize that. Gotta get things going. Sir Henry Wakeland Smith, experienced colonial administrator, armed forces moderate. Alexander Ogilvy, theocrat, Anglican Church, meticulous and offensive planner. Oh, he's a good one. We'll grab him. We'll grab him for the main army. Right. Get going. Travel time, 13 weeks. That shall be just fine. Alright, I'm going to get us going slow here so that I can assign some more of these armies. The Army of Ireland, we're going to put this guy in control of that. That's enough command capacity for a relatively small army. Home Army's got a guy, Hugo. Army of the West Indies. This guy's a wrathful offensive planner. He seems pretty good. Army of the Mediterranean. This guy is a cruel offensive planner, but he's an offensive planner, so we'll put him in there. What's your ideology? Authoritarian. For this army, we've got a pacifist, imposing demagogue. Seems just about right for the Army of Canada. Army of the Cape of Good Hope. Persistent supply requisitions expert, and a royalist. Versus this guy who's a reformer, traditionalist commander, psychological affliction, expensive tastes, and pious. I'll put this guy over there. Household Division has its own leader already, and then we'll grab our... Oh, we got another cruel offensive planner for the industrialists. We'll pull him in as well. And then finally, I'm going to pull this guy, Philip Mackay, our royalist, into the home army. That's going to change up my my situation significantly, my politics, but we'll see how that goes. Brazil wants into a trade agreement. I accept. Right. Got this planning. I think it should be good. Let me just make sure we've got... I don't have commanders in all these fleets either. Alright, so... Anglican Church, you're a Democrat, an engineer, and honorable. Interesting. Wish engineer were better Let's see, but I'll go with you. I'll give you a little promotion. Mediterranean Station, we're good. Lisbon Station. Let's grab this guy with the rural folks. He's a reformer. He's a hedonist also, but that's not too bad. South American Station has a commander. North American and West Indies Station has a commander. East Indies and China Station does not have a commander. Cape of Good Hope Station does not have a commander. I'm just going to go ahead and disband the Cape of Good Hope Station. That's going to move those ships to the Portsmouth Station. East Indies and China Station, we're going to do the same thing. That's going to move them to the Portsmouth Station as well. That should help that situation out. Truthfully, I don't need that many armies. I think it's just fine, the number of armies and fleets and whatnot that we've got. I feel extremely confident in our ability to defeat China in a land war because their military is not great. Good point, actually. While debates continue over the secret police law, a polemic by John Frost has publicized a simple and catastrophic flaw in the proceedings. A redraft is underway. Really? The law required that nobody flies a kite in public space if it so bothered another person at all? No wonder it was dragged down. Sounds bloody pitiful when you say it like that. Find an acceptable compromise, whatever it looks like. This makes him a little stronger. He's the head of the... he's part of the trade unions. That doesn't actually bother me that much. Let them take the bait and push for another matter. This weakens the armed forces, but it gives us 5% increased success chance. Well, I think I'll go with the second one then. We're up to 30% here, friends. Still no chance of a failure event. What is our... do we have a timeline here? India. Where are you located at? Are you not in India? Am I misunderstanding how that works? You're here. Fully mobilized. Okay, 0% landing progress. There used to be like a kind of a progress bar on the army or something like that. It used to show where you were with the naval invasion. It doesn't anymore. I'm gonna I think I'm gonna move the army of Ireland. I think setting the home HQ is the one that lets you... Oh, I don't actually control any... Army of Ireland is already in the South India HQ? No, I'm misunderstanding that. But I guess it is what it is. Alright, we're continuing to build up these iron mines. I think after the iron mines get built, we'll just go ahead and pause construction because I don't want to... Battles. Looking for army to recover organization. The army is still low organization. Alright. Right, because I only just got a commander just now. Well, hopefully that'll increase at a good clip, and then they can get the invasion started here. A lot of these armies do not have the kind of artillery that I thought they were, that they should have. But we'll need to work that out later. A common cost. We just got this event. I'm going to do the same thing that I did before to get us shock tactics or unbecoming of this nation, to get us 10% enactment chance. That is going to continue to increase Robert Peel's popularity, and that's going to make the Peelite Party stronger. You'll notice we're also now a legitimate government because the Queen Victoria aligns with the industrialists. If I reform and I pull the intelligentsia... Oh, interesting. The Whigs would not align with the Peelite Party that well at all. Interesting. Well, they'll continue to be as they are. Alright. So armies, 77% organizations. They're continuing to accrue organization here. Infertile grounds. Finding both the British public and the supposed political allies unreceptive to his ideas, frustrated, John Frost has decided to retire from the realm of politics, opting instead to spend the rest of his days penning embittered reflections on what could have been. I give these bumpkins the truth, and how am I rewarded? With deafening silence. And they call London a city of ideas, of culture. The only evidence of cultivation I found in that cesspool of the city came from the fields outside of it, and even they were cared for poorly. Good riddance to you all, I say, sirs. Good riddance to you all. And here's him driving off in his prototype 1836 car. I'll let him peddle his ideas in peace away from London, or politely inform him his presence is unwanted in Great Britain. I'm just going to do this first one. 5% strength for the trade union. This doesn't concern me one single solitary bit. Alright. I think I'm going to find a new source of silk. And that source is going to be the Ottoman Empire, and that's going to help us out a bunch. We could also definitely bring in some groceries. Let's buy them from America. Raising concerns. We've seen this event dozens of times, but just to give you a refreshment. The petite bourgeoisie have expressed their concerns about the decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. Choosing is always hard, not because the decision is difficult to make, but because the consequences can be a bit inconvenient. Rumors are spreading like smoke from a factory, staining the clear air of Great Britain with a dense and vicious poison. This needs to be addressed. This makes the industrialists mad and the petite bourgeoisie happy, because they're the ones with the concerns. Or they need to accept we can't always please everyone. I'm going to go with the second one. I don't have any attachment to the petite bourgeoisie. We do have a battle here finally, and it looks like we are winning. I'm quite pleased about that. So as soon as this completes and we've got a front here, I'm going to go ahead and throw some more armies into this situation. We are winning now. They're in a panicked retreat, so that should hopefully... Hey, we got success with secret police. Wonderful. It's nighttime now. Come on. There it goes. Alright, so that gives us 25% landing progress. They're still defending. I'm going to go ahead and pause construction for the moment. We're still a little short on cash, which surprises me. Generally, Great Britain's finances are way, way better than this. Are we rocking some kind of weird situation? Oh, I got a bunch more authority to play with. That's what's going on. Let's go ahead and put taxes on porcelain. And we'll use 200 authority to boost the popularity of the industrialists. Speaking of porcelain, let's go ahead... Oh, we're already producing our own ceramics. Well, that's just fine. 51% progress here. We got another battle incoming. Very good. I'm going to start some colonies, I think. We do have this colony growing already. I think these ones are... Okay, that was kind of silly, but it is what it is. Hey, and law progressed to voting. That's wonderful. Soon we'll have some police, and we're not going to tell anybody about the police. That'll be nice. We'll be back in the black once we're done with this war, though, and that'll be just fine. We should... Hey, there's a front. So, we've got a huge advantage in strength here, but let's not pretend that that is going to hold forever. So we'll put some more armies in there. As our enemies get some armies deployed, that will definitely help get things going. We haven't named a battlefield objective here. We've got a really significant technological bonus, technological superiority here. We also have allies, particularly British East India, coming in to shore up this this offensive line here. Cool. Success in this battle. And as you can see now, China is partially occupied and they're losing war exhaustion really, really fast. I'm just going to check the Fujian Treaty Port here. I probably should have added a war reparations war goal here, but I wasn't really thinking about it. Oh, interesting. They are going to win one battle against us, more particularly against an army led by our East India Company allies. We've got our other armies mostly in the front here, and we got 40 more battalions on the way, so I'm not too worried about that. Japanese shogunate colonized Sakhalin. Wow, they got to colonization real fast. Inefficient agriculture. The industrialists have started complaining about the existence of subsistence farms in Newfoundland, stating that their undeniable inefficiency should be immediately addressed. The fertile soil of our people suffers, relegated to tired and callous hands, too exhausted from manual labor to perform at a decent level, too poor to be able to use more advanced tools that would make them more profitable. This industry is just a useless investment. We should follow their advice. Migration attraction, upper starting pops more radical there, or they serve our purposes. I'm going to go with the first one. I never really know what to make of that event, but I'm good to go with it. An accidental discovery. While the government prepares to pass the secret police law, our agents have captured an Ottoman spy, damaging our already feeble trust in them. A list of all our generals and their families, notes on the state of our barracks and our ports, predictions about our imports, exports, production, ports, everything. I'm even surprised they didn't get an inventory of our favorite scotch. Our people need to know. This gives us reduced enactment time and increased enactment chance, but degrades relations to the Ottoman Empire. This is very useful information that should remain private. This gives us more enactment chance and makes the armed forces happier, but it deteriorates the relations even more. I'm going to go with that second one. I'm going to get us some extra enactment chance, and hopefully that'll allow us to get what we need to get. We are winning a battle here, so I'm pretty pleased about that overall. They are extremely likely to accept this peace deal pretty soon. So I'm, Ottoman Empire decided to rival us. Well, we can be mutual rivals, Ottoman Empire. Why don't I just go ahead and start improving relations with the other Australian states? Alright, so from here, Ottoman Empire has embargoed us. That's unfortunate. We won't be able to import silk from them anymore. What a shame. However, we can go ahead and finish this war, so let's go ahead and finish it. Alright, and that gives us our treaty port right here. And that completes the Opium Wars, because now we can export all our opium to China without a problem. I'm going to go ahead and build a support here so that it can be, so that we can fulfill the port condition of the whole treaty port situation, and then we'll continue building stuff up. And here's the completion of the Opium Wars event. We forced Great Qing to concede a treaty port in Guangzhou. I thought it was Fujian. Maybe that's the name of the city. Oh yeah, that's the name of the city here. In Guangzhou. Ensuring the continuation of the opium trade for years to come. It's over, Ambassador. Tell your emperor to sign the treaty, or else the repercussions will be severe. You will open your ports to us, you will cooperate with our officials in all matters of trade, and you will pay the wages of the soldiers presently engaged in bringing ruination to your land and people. You will submit. Great Britain rules the waves. This gives us 20% extra morale damage. Or let them eat opium. This gives us extra trade route competitiveness. I'm going to go with the first one. Morale damage is very nice to have. All right, so that was a successful opium war. We're just completely wrecking families and lives over there in China. That's exactly what we intended to do. I've also got a shortage of light ships in the Plymouth Station fleet, so we'll go ahead. Ooh, there's gold in Victoria. So we're going to go ahead and open up some more naval bases. We need 8. So we'll put 3 more. We'll put those in East Anglia. And that's going to go, I'm going to put them ahead of the universities. And we now have secret police, which is just what we wanted. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my politics again. I can't move off national supremacy yet. I'm going to go ahead and incorporate the Irish states, or work towards incorporating the Irish states. That's definitely going to be something we're going to do. And we're going to go to racial segregation off of national supremacy eventually. So that's going to be a medium-term goal. So to that end, let's go ahead and build us up some additional levels of government admin. To be honest, I'm kind of shocked that France wasn't our rival already. But it is what it is. However, the admin's going to have to go after the universities, because the universities are... Because innovation is the lifeblood of any imperial power. Go ahead and speed up the game just a titch. Wow, we've been going a long time. It's been a long episode. We've really only been here 2 years, but I guess we were basically paused at the beginning for a while. I was looking around and taking you through sort of where Great Britain is at game start with all of its stuff. So we'll take one more look at where our market is as we get finished out. We don't need to import ceramics from China. Let's go ahead and see what we can export to China. The Qing market... opium is very expensive. We're trading them a ton of opium, and we'll continue to do so. We could trade them some luxury furniture, luxury clothes. We could trade them porcelain and tools. Luxury clothes, porcelain, and tools. And luxury furniture. Alright. So, set up an export route. Luxury clothes, bam. Luxury furniture, bam. Porcelain, bam. Tools. Bam. It's going to be extremely profitable for our market. And we're going to go ahead and cut our explosives trade to Prussia. They're not paying us for the explosives the way we would like. Alright. Alright, well that was a very successful Opium War. We're currently on protectionism. I could go to free trade, but that would piss off my rural folk. Well, I'll figure out what changes to make to the economy next time. But spoilers, it's probably going to be laissez-faire. But yeah, that's we're getting started. We're going all over the world, doing a bunch of imperialism, doing a bunch of conquest, and generally throwing our weight around because we're Great Britain. The only country with great in the name. Don't pay attention to any other country's names. But that's all for today. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you all on the other side.